What's up, everybody? Today we are spending 5 minutes with the 50mm lens, and I'm going to tell you why everyone that takes photos or videos needs this in their camera kit. So let's roll that intro and dive on in. Happy Saturday, everybody! The first one in March of 2019. Can you believe that we're already almost a fourth of the way into the year? I still have a hard time wrapping my mind around the fact that we're in 2019. Like, is it just me, or does it seem like 2019 isn't even a real year? Because I mean, like, we had 2012, right? And the world was supposed to end because the Mayan calendar was over and, the Earth was going to explode for some reason. And 2018 was just kind of rough on everybody, I think. And now people are just kind of focused on themselves and making their personal lives better before next year rolls around and we're officially in the roaring 20s again. These are the things that plague my mind, folks. But speaking of improving yourselves, today we are talking about a very special lens, one that everybody needs to have in their camera bag at all times. We're talking a 50mm prime lens. So let's say you're getting into photography and YouTube. It's been a few months and you finally stopped using the auto function on your camera and you've outgrown the capabilities of the kit lens that came with it. So now you're in the market for a new lens, but you want one that's going to offer a large amount of shot opportunities and also won't be something that you get tired of eventually and just run out of uses for. Enter the Nifty 50. Google search what your first lens buy should be, and I guarantee you that every single website will recommend that you buy a 50mm lens. And the reason being is because of just how incredibly versatile they are. And the example lens that I'll be using today is the Panasonic 25mm lens. And the reason why is because in my last video, I went over the Panasonic Lumix G7, which is the best entry-level camera for both photographers and videographers. So if you haven't checked that video out yet, I will link it below in the description as well as post it here at the end of the video. Anyway, a quick overview of why this lens is labeled as a 25mm is because it is a micro four thirds lens, which has a crop factor of ×2 compared to that of a full frame censored camera. So whatever focal length it says on a micro four thirds lens, you just double that and then you have the full frame equivalent. But why buy this lens as your first addition to your camera gear? Well, for starters, 50mm typically have a very wide aperture. This lens in particular has an aperture of 1.7, which means you can open the sucker way up and let in tons of light. That makes this lens perfect for any low light scenarios such as indoor photography, maybe you're at a bonfire at night, or any place that says you can't do flash photography. Another bonus of having such a wide aperture is the ability to get that sweet bokeh effect. When you open up a lens to its widest, you are letting in more light, but you're also narrowing in the focus area of your subject. So all of those nice portrait shots you see where you have the person in focus, but the background is totally blurry, that effect can be achieved with a 50mm lens very easily. And that's just the physical aspects of this lens. The reason why a 50mm has such a large amount of staying power is because it is a prime lens. A prime lens is a lens that doesn't zoom in and does not get any wider. It has a fixed focal length. And what this does is it forces you to get creative with your shots. You're going to have to step back or get close up and personal to get the shots that you want. And when you're a more mobile photographer or cinematographer, you find yourself stumbling into new and more creative angles that you otherwise wouldn't have discovered before if you had just been in one place zooming in and out with a different lens. Okay, let's talk about pricing. So 50mm are actually on the cheaper side of most name brands. And this lens here will run you $150 on Amazon. Now, I know that doesn't seem very cheap, but this is actually the cheapest lens that Panasonic makes. And micro four thirds lenses typically cost a little more on average anyway than your regular APS-C or full frame lenses. But that about does it for the 50mm lens talk and why you need it. If you need more example shots of this lens in action, I have my Instagram linked below. Almost every photo on my page was taken with a 50mm lens, save for a couple sky shots which I actually used the kit lens for. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. You guys know the drill. Like this video for me and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, make sure you click the little bell icon so you don't miss out on any new content that I drop. Also, now that I've reviewed some laptops, a camera, and some audio equipment, I'm thinking of starting some tutorials to show you guys how to use that gear with some film techniques and some editing techniques in programs like Premiere and Photoshop. And if that's something you think you'd be interested in, be sure to comment below on that as well. All right. I think that's it. And I think I've actually managed to keep this video within 5 minutes. Look at that. Getting pretty good at this. Okay, that's it. I will see you all next time.